Hi, Ben.
Hey, how's it going? Who's
This is
this?
Ed from Houston, Texas.
Hey, thanks for the call,
My name
man.
is Edmund from Houston, Texas.
Yeah, what's on your mind?
All right, yeah. So I just want to start off by saying I'm a long time radio listener. I'm actually a elementary school teacher, so I
Cool.
don't really have the time to really just like watch the live stream and tune in. But I definitely want to, congratulate you on all the hard work that you put in.
Thanks, man. I
I'm a
appreciate that.
young progressive. I'm 22. I turned 23 the day after tomorrow,
Oh,
and
happy birthday,
and
man. Happy birthday.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Definitely appreciate that. But I mean, just as far as when I called earlier, you were still talking about the Mike Brown. But just to touch on, what Texas is going on. Being from Texas and having to constantly read about these crazy outlandish laws that are constantly popping up in Texas is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But one of the things, the main topic I really want to touch on is the fact that you brought up the systematic,
Yeah.
the systematic levels of white supremacy.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I've noticed as being a educator and being around diverse kids coming from different races, and even coming up from my own high school bringing, is what I've learned is the reason why Steve King and these other white nationalists can go out and say these things is because the majority of the white population have not been taught that they have been the oppressors their entire existence. As far as even to where, I go into school and these young children are eating up the African American culture. They're loving the dance, they're loving the slang, they're loving the music, but they don't have an idea of what colonization, slavery, gentrification,
Yeah.
the real ideology of a ghetto. And then whenever it took me, to my second year at a community college until I had a Caucasian teacher really just spend 3 weeks on how systematic slavery really was and how deep and ingrained it was in the people and in the society.
Yeah.
My name is Edmund Davis, and I realized that my name comes from I believe it was a Texas general, but he was a racist who was a part of the end of Reconstruction.
Yeah.
So my own name is attached to the systematic racism that seems to mask the entire country, that no one seems to be talking about, that no one seems to want to pay attention to. But it trickles all the way down to our police force, to our White House, to our neighbors, to our, the other people who are holding powerful positions.
Man.
And as African Americans, we are hypersensitized to these interactions because we know that these things are targeted us. This is not new to us.
Right.
But for someone who's just seeing Steve King and things like that, they're thinking, oh, well, I've never heard of this. Oh, slavery was so long ago, and and now things are so much better because Barack Obama. They just let everybody turn their back and think, oh, Barack Obama's in.
Everything is better. We're post-racial now. We're post-racial.
Where it's just as racist, if not worse, than what it's been, because obviously what you've been talking about on the show is Trump came in and normalized certain rhetoric that's amplified these white nationalists to where they feel emboldened enough to go out and harm individuals for their own nationality or for their national culture.
And you're not, and so just so the audience, hey, my pleasure, man, and just so the audience is clear, like what he said is not hyperbolic, right? There are literally cases of people being killed and shot because of this period that Donald Trump has ushered in. Yes, this racism has always been there. Yes, it's been white supremacy from the beginning of the United States of America, to the point where I wonder if they had ever considered that these rights that they were enshrining for themselves was going to be extended to their slaves. Would they have not been more explicitly clear? Like in their mind, they probably could not have imagined that the situation would change such that the words that they're writing in the Constitution for white men were going to be extended to women and black people. I wonder if they would have been more specific, but I digress. It has been here in America since the founding. But we have entered into a stage in an era where it is a lashing out. They're lashing out with, I don't care if you call them death pangs, where it's dying white supremacy and this is their last big hoorah. The fact of the matter is, in the midst of their lashing out, they're actually killing people in the name of Donald Trump's agenda and rhetoric. Get out of my country. This is not hyperbole that the last caller was just speaking of.